Hey, good morning. I am not here today, and so in my absence, I'm going to ask that you watch these videos. Maybe you want to watch them at double speed, or you want to skip forward a few seconds and then kind of pause and see what I wrote down and keep it. But because this week is so weird, and I'm not here today, Thursday, because I'm in Yakima for some math teacher trainings. I am asking that you do your best with the sub and with the work that I provided for you. All I'm really asking you to do with these videos is have lesson 11. We're going to try to go through days 2 and day 3. And remember what we talked about in the previous days and yesterday, whatnot, and complete this document. We're really driving home the point that you need to know two things. Number one, you need to know about triangles. And number two, this whole entire trimester, you need to know about creating proportions or fractions, which are proportions are two fractions that are equal. If you can do those two things, then really I just want you to rest and relax in the fact that everything that I've been doing is pushing towards these two objectives. And so if you're confident with these, feel confident in the math that I'm telling you. I'm going to start with the entry task, and I might just write for a little bit and not talk, and then you can just skip ahead or whatnot, or you can kind of play it on double speed and see if I'm talking in that time and go back and replay it if you need to. But remember the list. We're going to do these things as well. Number one, always label. And number two, it's really helpful to list the information that you know. Because number three, a lot of this is fill in the blank, the information that's missing. Determine whether each equation is correct. This is a smarter balance question, meaning it's going to be tested from you guys next year when you're sophomores. And so in order to do that, I got to remember to label, list, and fill in the blank. So label from T, HOA. So sine would be opposite over hypotenuse. Well, the opposite is 33, but the hypotenuse is not 56. So I'm going to mark that as no. If we switch and look at cosine u, oh, by the way, 33 or 65, yeah, that's definitely sine. If we switch and look at cosine u, theta goes there. H is still the hypotenuse, but the 56 is now the opposite side, and the 33 is now the adjacent side. So cosine would be AH, 33 over 65, and that's not happening, but it is right there. Entry test done. Classwork. We talked yesterday about label, list, and fill in the blank so that we could then solve. And so here is a fully worked out all the way from start to finish. In step one, well, they didn't really do step zeros, which is label, list, and fill in the blank. So label, list, and if we need to know the length of AB, that would be O, and we know 12 is A, so we're going to use tangent, as in fill in the blank, tangent of 40 equals AB over 12. We were using X yesterday, so it might be helpful to change it to be X over 12. Just so we're not thinking about, multiple letters, what do they represent? It's this line length right here. Solving, we have a fraction, so multiply both sides by 12 to cancel the fraction, which gives us 12 times tan 40. And when you plug that in your calculator, remember to plug it in your calculator, you have to be in degree mode, and then, so it says DEG up in the corner, and if you click the gear will open up document settings, option 2, and you can change the angle to be degree mode. And when you plug it in your calculator, 12 times tan 40, by the way, this is the exact answer that's preferred. Exact. Woohoo, I love it. But you know what? I'll be good with an approximation. Just notice the 4 decimals in the answer. You should think 4 decimals in most of your answer solutions. I'm going to go on, and I'm not even showing it on the screen. Sorry, this is on the screen. I'll let you pause, read it. Go to the next page. So here we go. We want to determine the value of the thing that has the question mark, how long it could be. So we're going to do our 3 steps. We're going to label, we're going to list, And because the question mark is on O and it's OH, we're looking at SOHCAHTOA. We're looking at sine. So now we're going to fill in the blank. Sine of 50 equals question mark over 6. We got to find, again, it's O over H, so question mark over 6. Solve for X, solve for the question mark. The question mark equals 6 sine 50. I'm going to do another example. Not really going to do a lot of talking on it, just going to work it out. Okay, let me talk about it. First of all, 37 degrees is the angle that we know, apart from the 90. We have to have a 90-degree angle. So 37 is where the theta goes. Label HOA based upon the angle 37. List it so that you can see what two things we actually have information about. So we have a tangent because we know opposite and adjacent are the two sides to focus on. Fill in the blank with theta, O, and A from our list. And then solve. We have a fraction. We will always have a fraction. So then you multiply by the denominator in order to cancel the fraction. And you know what? We wind up with this expression. I don't need to input my answer in the calculator because I can whenever I want to. I'm done. Also notice that I used parentheses here and didn't there. I should probably use parentheses always. Sine and then put in parentheses the angle measure. Tangent and then put in parentheses the angle measure. I'm going to do letter C, and then I'm going to say for you, letter D is homework. Step 1. Step 2. Step 3. Recognize we have AH. So AH, katoa, as in cosine is AH. Fill in the blank. Uh-oh. Question marks on the bottom of the fraction now. That's all right. It's still a fraction, so we still multiply by the denominator. But this time I have this cosine of 55, and it is multiplied by this unknown question mark side length. So if I rewrite, this is a number here, all of this. Not just the 55, but the fact that cosine is involved. When you go to your calculator, cosine of 55 is a decimal. So it's technically the question mark times a number. So divide to cancel the number. And we can just write it all out completely. Done. We're done. The question mark is 4 divided by cosine of 55. This can be plugged into your calculator. So therefore we're done. Okay, in exercise 3, let's use the calculator. Step 1. Step 2. Step 3. Okay, when I plug it into the calculator gives me 5.43785, and I only need to report, well, really I don't need to report more than 4 decimals. However, the 5 makes the 8 go to a 9. Just make sure you remember to round correctly. Letter B, I'll do one more. Step 1. Step 2. I have OA. H isn't known, so it's not sine or cosine. I'm looking for OA, that's tangent. Fill in the blank. Step 3. Oh no, we have a question mark. Can you see it? We have a question mark under the underside of the fraction. So multiply by the denominator, rewrite, and now divide by this tangent value, this tan 35 right here. Cancels. Go to the other side. And you literally type in a fraction where 3 is on top and tangent 35 is on the bottom. I get 4.2844. Guys, that's really what lesson 11 is all about. 3 steps. Label the triangle, write a list, fill in the blank. And know that when you solve the equation, it's always the denominator. It's always the denominator. Sometimes it's a number, sometimes it's a letter or an unknown symbol, but it's always the denominator that you multiply by. Note, if it's an unknown symbol that's the denominator, you have to do one more step. You have to divide. All right, let's go to the next page. Remember, you can pause and go back through this at any time you want to, so if I'm working quickly, well, I mean, you have the power of the internet. Okay, C is homework. Here's a good question. Question 4, exercise 4. From a hot air balloon, the angle between a radio antenna straight below and the base of the library downtown is 57 degrees, as shown below. If the distance between the radio antenna and the library is 1.3 miles, so how many miles high is the balloon? Okay, lots of word problems. Who cares? Step 1, label. 57, so that's where theta goes. HOA. And then the list. It's OA, so that means tangent. Fill in the blank. Oh no, we have an unknown symbol, a question mark on the bottom of the fraction. So let's multiply both sides by the question mark. And then divide both sides by the tangent of 57. It's 2 steps that I'm rolling into one space. But if I rewrite it, I get 1.3 over tangent 57. And oops, almost boxed that one. It's not that one. There it is. Any other ones apply? No. Yeah, it's just that one. See, check it. All right. You should absolutely do the closing and the success criteria. You know, check yourself. I can write and solve trig equations. You know what? This is writing the trig equation, and this is solving the trig equation. Actually, technically, this is solving the trig equation too. So if you can do this exercise 4, then I hope you give yourself a good rating. How could you improve? I don't know. Be creative on your answer for that one. Let's do the exit ticket together, and then I'll say that the problem set for lesson 11, day 2, which is the page after this one, is your homework assignment. This is the success criteria. Determine whether each expression can be used to find the length of AB. Select yes or no. Well, if we're looking at angle B, step 1. Okay. Fill in the blank. Have tangent. Wait a minute. I forgot. We want to know H. We want to know this one. So I'm going to put a question mark there. I guess because I have a question mark here, I could write a sine of angle B, and it would be O over H. So if I solve for the question mark, did you notice that we're really just swapping these two things? I mean, mathematically, we're multiplying and dividing, but visually, it looks like a swap. 4 over sine B. Not that, not that, not that, not that. Okay, so then let's go cosine. Cosine of b would be 7 over question mark. Well, here's my trick. It looks like a swap. I mean, if you're not seeing it, I could multiply by question mark, I could divide by cosine b, but ultimately it looks like a swap. Yes, that works. Well, I mean, if 7 is divided by cosine b, it's definitely not that one. And I guess between these other two choices, we're looking at angle A, so I'm going to relabel. At A, O and A switch. So our list is now theta equals angle A. H stays the same of AB. O is 7 and A is 4. So if I want to find H, I could use a sine, as in sine of A equals 7 over this side length. So I'm going to switch it, right? Multiply both sides by AB. Divide both sides by sine A. Wait a minute, that's the first one. Yes. So if 7 is being divided by sine A, and that's correct, there's no way we could flip the operation from division to times, and it would still work. Yes, no, no, yes. All right, that's day 2. And the homework is the problem set. But, you know, there's more than just one page, so please make sure you get started on it.